What's up everyone? Welcome to the Akuma Fund. Today we are discussing the pros and cons of freelancing.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years.
Yellow paint. Nathan made the black line.
Where they're big for about 3 minutes, then 5, then they get a little point.
We dedicate this to these people out here getting brain. But a pursuit is the money, it's reality. Never found a look like that you can't evaluate. See,
I've been freelancing for about a full year now. Actually, no, it's been longer than that. It's been maybe about a year and a half now. And I've discovered that there are a lot of pros and there are a lot of cons of freelancing. And it's a decision that if you're going to make, you need to know what you're kind of getting into here, right? I feel like it's easy to look at freelancing and either think, hey, it's amazing, it's the most great thing ever, wow, I can be my own boss, kind of, I can do all these new things, I can meet all these new people, I can work for myself, I can work from home. Or on the flip side, saying you don't have benefits, you don't have any reliable income, you don't even know if this is going to work. So I've listed out a full pros and cons that I've experienced, and I'll give you guys my rundown. So number one, the pay per hour is incredible, especially if you're younger. Okay, so I live in Seattle, okay, and we have a really high minimum wage. We have $15 per hour minimum wage, and it really disincentivizes you from learning new skills. Because, for example, if you want to be an EMT, which is an emergency medical technician or something like that, right? These are the people who, if you get hurt, right, you just got shot. These are the people who hop in the ambulance and come save you. It's just gonna be them or the paramedics, right? Funny enough, the pay per hour for an EMT in Seattle is like $16.5, $17.5, only $2.5 more than if you're working at Wendy's. And you're, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy, because what happens is that the market rate for base labor work here is artificially increased. So therefore, if you can get paid $2 less, you don't have to go to school for anything, and all you do is flip burgers. Maybe you can do that instead. But what I've found is with freelancing is if you're getting paid per project, okay, let's say you're getting paid for a photo shoot, you're getting paid for a video to be created, you're getting paid to write something, you're getting paid to do who knows, right? Those are just the basic ones that come to my head. You're charging for the end product, okay? So like, let's say someone is coming at you and says, you know what, I really want this video edited. Well, for them in their brain, they might be thinking, you know what, I want this video edited to me is worth $50. Okay, you negotiate with them, maybe you come to a deal, maybe you say, okay, $40 per video to be edited, right? But guess what, it only takes you an hour to edit one of the videos. They're happy because they're getting you below what they would have paid for, and then also you're happy because you're getting paid $40 per hour. And if you multiply $40 per hour out, that's about 80 grand a year. So keep all of that in mind, okay? Pay per hour can be incredible, especially because you're not coming at this as an hourly rate. You're coming at it as a per project basis, and you should know if this is your job, how long the project's going to take, what skills are required, because you're a specialist. You're getting paid specialist rate per hour, and I prefer personally to be paid by the project. So if I complete it in half the time expected or double the time expected, I'm getting paid the same. My second con is that you get slow months. This is absolutely true. If you run a business, I'm sure you can relate to this. If you're freelancing, already a freelancer, I'm 100% certain you can relate to this. You get slow months. Sometimes, your existing clients, they just don't have that much work for you. Maybe you are in trying to acquire new clients, and you're trying to go through that process of meeting people, asking people for work, doing free jobs. Okay, I mean, sometimes you just don't have times, you just don't have that much work to do. So what I highly recommend is you just stay busy. Like for me, this month has been a slow month, and I realized, you know what? I love creating YouTube videos. I'm gonna get back into that. I want to create some YouTube videos. Find something to make up your time that's relevant to what you do. If you're a photographer, go out and just shoot some pictures of just shoot stuff on the sidelines. Another thing you can do too is maybe you can go out and of course find new clients. You can increase your skill set. There's so much you can do in your time. But of course, if you have a lot of overhead, you better get on the grind and make some more money somehow, right? Get some new clients. Number 3 is you can have a flexible schedule most of the time. Now, obviously, let's say you're a wedding photographer or wedding videographer. I'm just using this is because my personal thing has to do with video. Your shoot is super strict. You have a certain time, place you need to be there, blah 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 boom. But afterwards, you can edit the photos, the video on your laptop at Starbucks. You could be in the country. You can edit the videos from anywhere. I think that's super awesome. If let's say you're a freelance marketer, you could be working from anywhere. For me personally, I'm a video editor, right? So I have to be kind of close to my home station. But even then, I can edit videos on my computer. It's not like the end of the world, right? So keep that in mind. That almost, I would say, maybe 75 to 80%, 75 to 90% of the time, if you're a freelancer, you're either going to have all or at least part of your work to be able to done anywhere. And I think that's a huge bonus. When I go to Santo Domingo, in about, what is that going to be? About 2 months, a month and a half, I will be working in Santo Domingo because all I really need is my computer and internet, and I can get stuff done. 4, yeah, this one's a kind of a big one, and doesn't it kind of seem, this is a con. It might not seem super obvious. However, especially if you're working from home and you don't have like your own personal office, work and home become mixed for you. Sometimes for me, it's really hard to break out and say, you know what, now is relax time, not work time. Now is work time, not relax time. So I've had to create all these little things I do, time sets, scales, pomodoros, super organized schedule, get out of the house, work somewhere else. It can be kind of tough, you know, like 9 to 5 people or people who just work at a regular job, that when they show up to let's say you work at Wendy's, you walk into Wendy's, you have your little hat on, you're hanging out with your coworkers, you know that it's work time. It's time for you to get some work done. When you're freelancing from home, and let's say you're a writer, okay? You're a writer, and you know you're working from your bedroom. I mean, like, it can get kind of dicey sometimes. And another thing too is you feel like when you're relaxing that you should be working, and also sometimes when you're working you want to be relaxing. So you just got to just really make sure you figure out some type of system to sort that out. I find that that's been a struggle for me over this past year. I've made progress on that, but I think it's always going to be a little bit of a struggle. Number 5 is a benefit is that you can work from anywhere. I kind of mentioned that with the flexible schedule thing. I find that to be a huge pro. And 6 is that there's no traditional benefits. You don't get a 401k, you don't get medical, you don't get dental. Right now, for example, I have no health insurance. I have no health insurance. And also I have no eye insurance. So when I go to an eye doctor, I pay up front. I pay about $100 for an eye appointment, and then I order my glasses online for another $100. So keep that in mind. If you're young, this probably isn't a problem. You know, you're probably not doing anything too crazy. You might be able to get government health care. But you know, if you have a family, it's a little bit different. You're gonna have to pay a monthly insurance plan, which is something that I definitely should be doing. Honestly, that's a risk that I'm not willing to take. But it is what it is now, as we speak. So keep that in mind. You do not get traditional stuff. You're not going to get dental, vision, 401k, all that stuff, right? So keep that in mind. So you have to take care of yourself. Number 7 is you are developing a valuable skill. With freelancing, every single time, without fail, a freelancer has developed a specialized skill set that they sell their time or their service or their product to a client. That's what it is 100% of the time. Whether you're an engineering freelancer, whether you're a video person, whether you're a photo person, whether you're a writer, whatever. You are selling your specific skill set that you have developed to someone. That means you are getting paid for something that you can easily improve and get better on. Let's say you work in HR. Okay, you're an HR lady. What are you good at? You're good at paperwork, you're good at following directions, you're good at following rules. Versus if you look at the software developer, they have a skill set, a specialized skill set that they are employed to do. When you're freelancing, that's what you offer to your client, a specialized skill set that they cannot do on their own. And if you're gonna do something like HR, you're gonna get paid dirt money because you're competing with you're competing with Filipinos or Indians or Malaysians who are willing to get paid $2 per hour. You're not gonna compete with that. But that's a huge pro to me, is that you're developing a highly specialized skill set. And another thing too is that you actually develop new skills. So for example, my video client, my most important video client to me, the one that I make sure to take care of the most, he's actually been training me in search engine optimization, keywords, marketing, and things like that. So sometimes you can develop such an interesting relationship with your client. You can develop sometimes you just don't know, honestly. When you're freelancing, you meet so many different interesting kinds of people. You get to know them very, very well, and your professional relationships are very, very interesting. I'm sure that some of you can probably relate to this if you're working in sort of high-powered careers like lawyers, consultants, investment bankers. What else? Like high tier kind of client-facing businesses. You're a sales guy. You kind of get the same kind of thing when you're video editing, except you're there. You're working with them through their problems. And if you're doing a good job, they're gonna hire you again and again and again and again, and it's gonna be really, really interesting. Sometimes they'll ask if you can do more than what you can do, and then you'll either say no, I don't want to do that, or you can say yes, I want to improve my skills. Teach me how to do this, or I'll figure it out on my own so that I can do more work for you, because my job is to solve your problems. One con is that you're on your own boss, and that it definitely depends on the person. But why that's a con specifically for me is because it's really hard to separate the boss from the employer, from the worker kind of personality. I mean, I'm kind of a one-person show. I do have some people who I give work here and there for certain things, but in general, I am my own person, right? What am I? I would probably I have like 1.5. Like my company is 1.5 people. I like to say, and it's sometimes difficult to separate worker from boss, and it's something you got to do. Like for example, I go into accounting E-man mode when I'm tracking my accounts receivable, my things people owe me, this, that, contracts, things like that. Right? It can be very, very difficult sometimes to separate the worker from the boss. Planning out, developing strategy, and sometimes you develop too much strategy. You take too long doing that, and you need to instead start focusing on the work side, getting the work done. I mean, that's what's going to make you the money in the end. And I said this kind of before, but client management. If you're not good with people, freelancing is going to be very, very, very tough with you. You need to develop your social skills. Client management is so important when it comes to freelancing, because there are times that I've screwed up, and having a good relationship with the client, being able to interact with them, soften a little bit, explain to, not even explain, just figure out ways to just make sure that they feel like they're being taken care of, even if you do screw up, is so important. You are a client. Your second job, besides whatever it is what you're doing, is to manage the client-side relationship, and that can be a very difficult thing sometimes. But when you do it effectively, it's a godsend, and it will help you so far with developing those like 1 or 2 or 3 clients who always consistently will give you work, who will constantly who grow you and your skill set and your freelancing with their business. Super duper duper important. I mentioned this before. You have unique professional relationships. Just kind of touched on that. It's a lot more adventure. And it depends, right? Because sometimes people have really awesome jobs. If your job is to be a National Geographic wildlife film video person, like, you got a really awesome job. But I mean, take it from me. I've worked as an engineering assistant as an intern. That was pretty fun. I've worked as a global security operations intern, and there's nothing like doing your own thing, being your own person. I personally, I love it. It fits my personality a lot. Being able to just be your own man is I love it. I love that I can do whatever the fuck I want. Really, I don't have to. If I don't want to do a job, I don't have to do a job. If I just want to just not, I just want to go live with my grandma and not have to do anything, I can do that. If I want to go out there and I want to kill it and I want to make $1,000,000 this month, I go out and I do my best to do that. That's my favorite thing about this, is that it's super adventure packed, and it's honestly really fun to do. That's freelancing, the journey part. And then 14 in it is it gives you an eye for opportunity. And that, I think, is one of my favorite parts about freelancing, is that you're always constantly thinking, how can I make this bigger? How can I make this better? This process right here, how can I hire someone to do this process for me? You know what? Maybe there's a new market here that I think other people haven't really been doing. Sitting down with a client side meeting, trying to figure out exactly what they're trying to do, exactly what they want. You know what I mean? How much you should probably charge for that too, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Being confident. It helps. It's so it really is bound full of opportunities and learning experiences, and that to me has to be my favorite part of freelancing. Thank you guys very much for watching the video. This has been Emmanuel Ardenia, and Akuma out.